Maverick ban, or will they go for, say, Capitao? Because a lot of people like to ban Capitao here, so no one can play in Pixel, and no time to deliberate here, as they know who they're going to ban, and it will actually be a Nomad. A very interesting pick, as people like to do a lot of runouts on these maps, and typically we want to see a Valk ban right after the Nomad, just so they know you can't have any intel when you jump out. And no, it will be a Mirror coming out, also one of her strongest maps.
Absolutely. That's almost an instant ban pretty much every time here. The Nomad is interesting, especially because In Control will be attacking first. You'd think they'd want to be able to cut off a roam pretty easily, but I mean, also if they want to be able to roam when they switch over to defense, that's a solid ban there. But I mean, you see your classic Mira Echo combo here, two very powerful defending operators taken off the board, and we're going to get underway here in round number one. It's going to be Bar Cocktail.
One of the interesting things about banning both Mirror and Echo, yes, you get rid of the Yokais, yes, you get rid of the Black Mirrors, but Valk's Evil Eyes are still, or excuse me, Valk's Black Eyes are going to be left on the board if a team wants to play her. One of the strongest ops, which will basically have to guarantee an IQ pick at least every round or so to make sure they can spot these out. Instead, we actually see a Maestro brought out for deep intel.
Yeah, I see Maestro pretty often here on this Bar Cocktail hold. You can get his Evil Eyes into good positions to where they can cover pretty much most of the site area as well as the default plant areas. So that's gonna be that's a solid defending pick here to start things off for Unreal Nightmare. But yeah, how often would you say Bar Cocktail's the first one? Because I feel like it's like 9 times out of 10, with that one other time being going down to Kitchen.
I believe I do see it first most of the time. I don't necessarily agree with it simply because I don't think it's the best site on this map. I personally think that Reading Fireplace with a coordinated enough team and people who know how to hold a site down, it can be the better site just because you have to hold it as if you were holding this site right now.
Hmm.
And we see a quick breach here coming in from the IQ of Defiance for InControlNation, and they want to take control of Piano, and they want to push these people out of the site.
Yeah, they it looks like they had a couple of defenders hanging around Piano, but they quickly backed off once all those windows got taken out very early into the round. It looked like a second ago, I believe, Caden over there on the smoke, he did prep that castle barricade. So that's going to be interesting to see how he plays that, now sitting behind the deployable shield just next to that piano lounge door. Now they are going to be droning out downstairs to make sure there aren't any unwanted roaming defenders down there, but it looks like all five are going to be up on that top floor hanging around. Jaeger is actually going to be prone by the Christmas tree, waiting for someone to try and come in. I don't think he's been droned out yet, but he's in a good position here if they decide to repel in those windows and they don't drone him out. Now we are going to see Smoke. He's going to be hovering kind of around that red stairs entrance area. He is going to get droned out, though, so they know exactly where he is. And it looks like we might be getting a little bit of a split push here, as I can't tell who that is, but one attacker is going to be repelled and exchanging shots with the Kaid, who's going to get shot from below by the Ash through the hatch, and that's going to be all she wrote for Kaid. And now they're going to be pushing on the site very quickly. The Maestro is going to try and land shots, but he's going to lose to Ash, and that's a double kill now for Mello, and Jaeger's going to get picked off by Bone, and now it's a 5v1. All that's left is Smoke with almost no health, and there it goes, a flawless round to open things up here for InControlNation.
They really took this round by storm, especially on that west side of the map. They really decided here that they knew that they were going to be met with a lot of aggression with that classic castle hold and smoke in Cigar. So what they decided to do was just switch it up and go to the other side of the map. A very, very smart play there to just readjust and pick a different place of where they wanted to attack.
Absolutely. So we are going to see them sticking with that site, and they're going to stay at Bar Cocktail. We're going to see Valk picked for a second, but potentially being sixth picked here. Yeah, we're going to see a Mozzie. Nope. Now Ella. I'm going to wait for this to lock in. Yep, Ella. Valkyrie traded out for the Ella, and then the IQ traded out for Amaru. So we might see another quick push here from InControlNation with that. Amaru flying up to the top floor quickly.
A very interesting pick for, obviously, for the defense. I mean, if you want to swap Valkyrie and make them force an IQ play and try and look for these cans that won't be anywhere, yeah, it makes sense. But if you know that they might be bringing a Valkyrie, and then you swap out your IQ, I mean, yes, you're getting the same gun technically, and debatably a better one because you have that SMG-11 with you, but you lose that intel gadget to find anything. I'm not sure if I necessarily agree with it, but like you said, we might be seeing a very fast push here coming in from In Control Nation.
Yeah, I mean they already moved in pretty quickly as it was that first round, but now you're adding in the high flying Amaru to be able to move in. You know, I don't even know where she'll try and move in. She could just fly straight up into piano, maybe even go up to that heaven window, something like that. Oh, looks like she's actually gonna go into fireplace. But she's already in and she's already trading shots with Ella, but she's gonna lose the fight, and that's Breezy on the Ella picking up the opening kill, and that's a better start here for Unreal Nightmare as they take out the Amaru before she can do any damage.
That's a very, I mean, that's your typical Amaru play, right? You see Amaru
Yeah.
just kind of just go her way through and just literally just put herself on the line and try to find a pick. Nothing else really happens besides Amaru is basically an entry fragger. She doesn't really support. She doesn't really support as a flex. She is an absolute entry fragger, and that's a kind of new role that I guess Amaru is finding herself in.
Yeah, and so not much else going on here so far as we are now more than a minute into the round. It looks like will be having a technical rehost here after this round is played. But yeah, right now not much going on. Breezy did lose a little bit of his health, but he's still over 50. So advantage here, I would say, definitely in favor of the defense as they have all 5 players still on the board. We're now halfway through the round. Drones are going through as the attack, it looks like, is sweeping through the downstairs area. Now, last time Ash was able to open up that hatch and get the kill onto the Kaid, but that's not going to happen this time as the hatch was reinforced. And then through the floor, Henry on the Maestro is going to get a second pick, and that's going to be Mello falling on the Ash. And now it's a 5v3 with just over a minute remaining in the round.
We see them going for a possible east side take here, but it looks like they want to switch it up again as they have only 3 players here. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they want to execute here. A lot of pre-fires coming in here from, I believe that was Eric. Yes, it was. And they seem to kind of know that there's at least one person here on piano, possibly looking for the pick here. But Bone is going to be peeking around into white to maybe find something. He knows someone is in this bathroom now. He just heard the sound cue. But I think also, no, Eric does not know he's there. And they're going to try and open up piano really late into this round.
Yep, only 30 seconds remaining, and now shots are going to get traded from the Thatcher sorry, excuse me, not the Thatcher, the Sledge and the Smoke, and Smoke will fall, but then it's a double kill for the Sledge as he finally falls to the Jaeger of Pocky. Yeah, let's go with Pocky. But then Breezy finishes it up, and that's a much better round here for Unreal Nightmares. They tie things up at 1-1, and they can move on to other defending sites.
Very interesting to see how that round kind of played itself, just simply because we saw a little bit more aggression coming out here from the team of excuse me, not In Control. Well, actually, we did see a little bit of In Control Nation with aggression, but we will be having a rehost here as I believe it will be some stream issues as we're going to try and reset here for you folks. But as we saw, we did see a bit more aggression also come in from Unreal Nightmare as they were defending. Do you think that really helped them out?
No, absolutely. I don't know if Amara was expecting that Ella to be playing down in laundry, but it definitely caught him by surprise, and that was a good opening kill to start things off and kind of boost the confidence of Unreal Nightmare going into that round. And then it looked like it was almost the same strat there for Unreal Nightmare. It was just a lot more effective in holding. You got the good pick from the Maestro through the floor as Ash tried to open up from underneath. And from there, there was just kind of Unreal Nightmare was kind of in the driver's seat for the rest of the round until they could pick off each of the remaining attackers one by one.
It definitely seemed like InControlNation wanted to play even more aggressive because they were probably expecting that hatch to still be unreinforced above the site, and maybe they were trying to play an above feature that the Amaru now has. Is now she doesn't have to destroy the hatches to propel through them, which I think is a very very good feature, which I think kind of makes her a little overpowered now, and I think that was maybe what they were trying to do, but again, the downstairs pressure from Breezy on the Ella just really played a terrible factor for him.
Absolutely. And then I think Breezy actually remained downstairs and then sweeped up, if I remember correctly, red stairs to finish off the last kill of the round. Actually, no, they were top white, I believe. Actually, is where he ended up. But regardless, yeah, much better there. I guess we can make predictions to see where they're going to be heading next. I would say kitchen personally, but I have a feeling you're going to say mining and reading.
Well, I personally think that I will assume that they're going to go to kitchen just because it is again a very very strong site here, and it can allow teams to just put some roamers on sites above. And yes, we will be seeing kitchen. I will assume that we will be seeing some roamers upstairs, and it just allows teams to kind of play more aggressive on the defense and force them to try and clear the whole map and really, kill time. And that's the difference between, I guess, the difference between how I think of the sites. Because if you go with reading Fireplace, you have to not only take gunfights, but you also kill time. And you don't necessarily have to take the gunfights, though. You can just fall back onto the site, and all of a sudden you have a way to defend two sites at the same time. But we will be seeing kitchen, so enough about my favorite site.
No worries. Yeah, no, definitely. You have that ability to fall back to site. Time is definitely is a weapon for the defense. But we'll see if. Honestly, I'm going to see if they try and utilize that and maybe have an upstairs roam here for this, or if they try to just stick all 5 defenders on site like I've seen quite a few teams do. But really, there's a lot of vertical play that can be utilized here for the attack on kitchen. If you can get, some hard destruction upstairs with that sledge, or even the Zofia who up there as Ash as well, you can start getting a lot of holes opened up above the site and try and pick off defenders one by one. But you could all. Honestly, I think it's going to be either that is going to be entirely put on that vertical play, or they're just going to push hard into bakery, or never mind, they might be pushing just into that back area and trying to get into freezer. We'll take a look and see.
It definitely seems like they want to take over the freezer side, and with that castle barricade, and it looks like also a soft barricade, yes, there's not going to be anybody on this side of the map downstairs. There might be somebody roaming upstairs, but they don't have anyone on this bottom side, which just allows them to take control of this entire east side of the map. I guess you can say that they're in control right now of this map. And it doesn't look like they have anything to really counteract this, and they're already getting the freezer wall open.
Yeah, exactly 1 minute into the round, and you're going to have that freezer wall open and an access point into sight. Now, I did believe we see the Jaeger roaming upstairs there, so he could be dangerous if he rotates correctly. But yeah, they can already start their push onto site. It looks like Jaeger's going to be creeping up on, I think that's IQ. That is still on the drone, but no, he's not going to know that the IQ is there hiding inside laundry, and Defiance is going to get away with his life for the time being and head down white stairs. And they're going to start to push into sight now. Shots are going to go out, and it looks like Eric is going to open things up here. The Kaid is going to get the kill onto the Thermite, so no more hard breaching from them, but then Defiance and the sledge of Yasuke, yeah, let's go with that. Start out the kills for InControl, followed by Mello picking one off, and now all of a sudden it's a huge 4v2 advantage for the attack. Defiance is going to get another, and then Defiance with I believe that was that was either a 3 or a 4K from him, and that was just a 3K. Yeah, 3K here from Defiance is going to that's just going to be a dominant round there from InControlNation. swept through that one quickly.
Well, I think it was kind of the same thing what we were talking about in the beginning of the round. They took over the entire east side with nobody really contesting them. We saw the Jaeger kind of push up a little bit, but then fall back and not really take the gunfight, which he probably should have, and probably should have at least applied some pressure to maybe give them, a little bit of shakes or something. But instead, it just didn't. There was no pressure. There was nobody holding that site. There was nobody really. There was no breaching denial either on that wall, which you usually see at least some breaching denial. They didn't even have to throw any nades over, destroying any Kaid claws. It was literally a free take, and hopefully we can see Unreal Nightmare just adjust to that style.
Yeah, that was interesting to say the least. Yeah, you said there wasn't even an electrical on that site, correct? Over at Freezer.
I believe there wasn't.
Yeah, if there was, they got rid of it very quickly. But either way, you have that ability. Obviously, they're using one on that bakery wall, but I don't know where the other one's going. Maybe on the maybe he tried. Yeah, it looks like he's putting it on the hatch, the freezer hatch, instead of the freezer wall itself. Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. But it looks like they're going to try the same push here. And again, there's no defenders over on that side. I think you have the Jaeger upstairs again. But yeah, you have the Jaeger upstairs, but let's see if he can have a little bit more successful run than he did the first round, where he was just so close to picking off that IQ and start things up. And it looks like Hazmat is going to get downed by the Jaeger, who jumped out, but he did pick off the Ash of Mellow for his efforts. So almost a two-piece there for the Jaeger. But now you're going to have Hazmat sitting at 20 HP. But it looks like a grenade is going to go over the wall, but they should be able to get this fairly... Oh, no. Did he move his charge? Yeah, it looks like he moved his charge over to the wall this time. But the nade from the sledge is going to get it. Hazmat's going to be able to open this wall here, it looks like. And, yeah, same result, just a little bit slower this time. But now they only have 4 attackers to push this site, but of course they are only facing against 4 defenders. But Eric gets another one just peeking over that freezer window, and that's going to be Hazmat falling, who was already on very low HP. So now it's down to a 4v3 in favor of Unreal Nightmare with 1.5 minutes remaining in this round.
We're going to see a lot of guns to try and find somebody here as they briefly around corners and maybe find some other way to get in here. But they're going to have to at least force themselves through this freezer wall, or maybe through a split push here, as they don't really have any other way into this site. Eric is going to find Defiance here, and that's the only hold you have from Freezer. They won't know that just yet, but Suke is going to be trying to make some vertical pressure here, as Bone's going to be moving into the bakery. Now, this could prove fruitful if they don't know that they're coming into bakery, and a beautiful cam there set up behind the fan in kitchen, and heading in here. And actually, I take that back. They know that he's coming right from there, and the Mew of Gaiden will come upstairs to just float around here, and Bone will be pre-fired around the corner, and Breezy catches his kill.
Wow. Same thing as when they went upstairs 2 times in a row. Just much better round here for Unreal Nightmare. They're able to pick off the attackers. That was an excellent flank there from... I believe that was the smoke, right? Yeah, the smoke. And just, yeah, we're moving on to mute, sorry. It was mute. But yeah, we're moving on to reading Fireplace, as I think, yeah, this is the last round before upstairs opens back up. But now it's 2-2, very back and forth here to start things off.
It is very back and forth, and we do see a bit of kind of, I guess you can say, InControl dominate the first round that they play a site, and then Unreal just is able to adjust and figure out what they did wrong, adjust to it, and they really just turn the tide on the site. Now, I don't know if we're going to see the same thing happen on when we swap sides, but it's very interesting to see how this split will go.
No, definitely. Well, I do think that there's going to be a pretty heavy upstairs presence, as you will see so many times for this kind of hold for this site. The castle is definitely going to help. If I remember correctly, he's going to castle off that main wall between, or that main door between bar and cocktail. They're basically just walling themselves off from that side so they can just hold the white hallway area. And really, I think this is more of a time delay thing, or more than anything else. But if they do this correctly, this is going to work very well for Unreal Nightmare, and they're going to get themselves off to a 3-2 lead.
It's going to be very interesting to see how this split ends up too before we swap halves, and it's very possible that we see a 3-3 here, and that'll bode very well for In Control. Unreal Nightmare have been both these teams have been together for a bit of time now. It's going to be very interesting to see how they can get a split here, and they know somebody is in train right now, and they're going to try and maybe flush him out. And boom, we get a beautiful one tap on the kid, and
yeah, that's Wamai off the board very quickly. Dang, what a shot there from Bone on the Zofia, but that's a good step in the right direction here for InControlNation to get things going here, as one of those upstairs defenders is gone. And then Defiance is going to follow things up and take out the Jaeger. So 2 good guns gone for the defenders very quickly into this round, as we're still less than halfway through. And it's a 5v3 in favor of the attackers, who still all have 100% health. Now you're going to see, it looks like the castle is going to be holding those white stairs. He has a good angle here on the fireplace to see if they're trying to push into sight, but they're not doing anything so far. Yeah, they're going to, a little bit of a lull in the action here, as they're going to set up their push onto site. Ash is going to be heading up the brown stairs here. That audio cue from hitting the barbed wire has to have been heard by the defenders. Castle still sitting inside the white stairs. And it looks like Ella's still roaming upstairs. That's Breezy, who can be very dangerous if he puts a good flank down here. I don't think anyone's upstairs with him, though, attacking-wise. It looks like everyone's starting to push their way to site. He does have an angle onto the door, which is still castle barricaded. And now, a good shot here from Henry on the castle, and that's going to be the Ash falling. And so finally they get an attacker off the board. And it looks like Sledge is going to start using his hammer a little bit over there to open things up. A little bit of a stalemate here, as we're at 35 seconds left in the round. Ooh, IQ's going to be creeping up the white stairs. Does Castle know? I don't think Castle knows. No, and a pre-fire from the Defiance is going to take care of the Castle. Now it's a 4v2 in favor of the attackers. Oh, and IQ's moving up, and the smoke didn't know. Eric didn't hear the IQ. Plant's going to go down from Hazmat. It's a 4v1. All that's left is Breezy, and he's going to get picked off. Another multi-kill here from Defiance. I think that was either 3 or 4 again. And he's just on a roll right now with that IQ. A good shot, good pre-fire and shot there. And yeah, InControlNation taking the 3-2 lead.
a very, very close, I guess you can say, just no one was really paying attention there, because they knew that there was, and they kind of got very overly aggressive, because you saw them just lose somebody very early on, and instead of falling back, maybe holding more passive angles, they decided to get more and more aggressive. And as we saw it, the round unfold, we ended up just on a 2v4 with almost no sight control, and they still ended up winning the round just by pushing through.
Yeah, and then that could have gone very differently. I think if both the castle and the smoke knew where the IQ was, because the castle was holding that white stairs angle but didn't know the IQ was swinging on him, and that spelled disaster for him. And then the smoke was watching the other way towards that pillar's door on reading room, and just did not hear the IQ walking up on him. But excellent play there from Defiance, and yeah, they put themselves in a good position as they go up 3-2 onto the last round of their attacking phase.
It's going to be very interesting, too, to see how they want to hold this top site, because they won it the second time they played it. It's going to be very interesting to see if there's going to be a different hold and a different attack.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, we're gonna get things going here. Yeah, it looks like you're gonna have some of the same pieces as they did the first 2 rounds, where you're gonna have that smoke sitting with the the prepped castle barricade right next to him, and then the deployable shield. So he's gonna be watching that red stairs doorway. Maestro gonna be sitting in that same spot as well as he did the first time around. But we are gonna see he's gonna take an ash charge, but he hears it and dodges it quickly. But he is gonna take damage. He's gonna be now less than half health, but he is in trouble as the attackers are circling underneath him, trying to find an open spot in the floor. He does see the ash, but he throws some shots at him, but will miss. And shots from the ash, but no, Henry lands the shot. Finally, a headshot on Mello, and he didn't lose much health after that. And he's still sitting at just below half health, but he does get the ash off the board, which is huge to start things off. And we're now ticking down to almost halfway through the round.
We find ourselves here in a 4v. Excuse me, I take that back. It's a 4v, and now it's a 4v3. I should just shut my mouth and let the guns fly. And it's 3-3 right now as we find ourselves at the 90-second mark here with low HP, mostly on InControlNation. But Henry is also low, but also no real map control here coming in for InControl. And they're also just, without a hard breach, they have no way of really getting into the site besides forcing in some gunfights. Now, it's still very possible for them to take it, but it's going to cause a few gunfights to happen beforehand.
Absolutely. So now we are down to the last minute of the round, but we still see some attackers outside, and then Eric on the castle is going to pick off the sledge, and now it's down to a 3v2. Shots are going to trade out between Defiance and Eric. Eric's going to lose a little bit of health in a swing from Defiance. He's going to miss his shot, so he tries again and tries with the pistol, and that's going to be a double kill for Defiance. Now it's a 2v2. Health pretty much equal here. Defiance is going to jump into sight, and a great shot through the wall. He's going to get one onto Henry, and now all that's left is Breezy on the mute. Such a huge turn of events here, and Defiance, he lands another one. And that's a huge shot on the Breezy. Defiance hits him with the good night. He is on fire right now, and InControlNation, they take their attacking side 4-2.
A bit of BM coming out here just to sit him with a good night, and I don't know if I'm ever in. It's always nice seeing a good night in chat, just because it's always, I guess you can say, warranted in a way, especially after a good shot like that.
Absolutely. He's hitting everything right now. It's insane. He's putting the team on his back, and I think a few rounds here could have gone very differently if it wasn't for him. He's sitting at 12-1 right now. Unbelievable performance here from Defiance to start things off, and we now move into the second half of this map.
It's going to be very interesting to see how they want to swap this up. And if the strats will differ at all, we could see the same type of top floor hold like we did last time, or we could see them go with the bottom floor instead.
Yeah, no, we're going to see them start things off here on Bar Cocktail for their defensive side. For the most part, you're going to see a few of the same operators as what Unreal Nightmare was roaming. You will see Defiance on the Mozzie, so you have to assume he's going to be roaming downstairs for potentially a Nitrocell play, or just just to try and clear out anyone that tries to push up from downstairs. But yeah, looks like the Evil Eye cam is going to go top red. That's an interesting placement there for the Maestro cam. I feel like it's hiding inside a box almost, but what I was saying, if you find that Meister cam, you can easily get rid of that with a Ash charge or something like that from the hatch. But we're going to get things going here 20 seconds into the round, and they are going to start to rappel all on that west wall of the building.
I think he's really hoping that no one is able to spot it out, and if they try to hard breach there, he can just easily zap it away.
How did Jaeger get down to half health? But Defiance is going to open things up, and he's going to get Breezy. The sledge is gone and off the board, so a good run out there, it looks like, from Bakery from the Mozzie. He just continues. He's now 13-1, and we still got at minimum 3 more rounds.
At the minimum, so we would like to see at least a bit more of the play here, as the teams are just they're on par with each other, so it's a very good match.
Yeah, absolutely. A Nitro Cell is going to go out from the Mozzie, but it's going to miss its mark as it just lands on the side of the skylight. But Mozzie, he's going to be roaming around. He hears the drop, but he loses. And finally, Caden is going to be able to get Defiance off the board. And so now it's a 4v3 in favor of the defenders, but a little bit better situation than what they were at a minute ago. Still a minute and 25 remaining. Thermite, it looks like he is going to go ahead and get that red stairs wall, but no. Oh, the Maestro Cam. The Maestro Cam got it. They don't know it's there, I don't think.
That played perfectly to a T, as I believe they probably wanted to.
But we're going to see the IQ continue to get kills here, but then trades going back and forth. Mello is going to pick off the IQ, and then Eric on the Thermite is going to get rid of that man over there. What was that, Mello? Yeah, that was Mello. Sorry. But now we just have Bone and Hazmat left, so it's a 2v2, health slightly in favor of the attackers of Unreal Nightmare. But they only have 45 seconds to be able to push into sight. And it looks like Hazmat's just lying in wait with his shotgun, so we'll see if he can do anything if someone tries to push through to White Hallway. Caden and Eric, they're going to push into Freezer now, though it looks like they might be able to get a plant off here. Shots are going to come out, though, from the mute of Hazmat, but they're going to land half health, and then finally Hazmat is finished off by Caden, but Bone is going to pick off Eric, so now it's a 1v1 situation, health in favor of Caden on the Zofia versus Bone on the Jaeger, but they only have 15 seconds to get the plant down or to get the kill. Looks like the diffuser is going to get picked up, and plant's going to go down. Fake, actually. The plant is going to get faked, but no! Caden lands the shot as Bone tries to peek through that rotate on Freezer, and yeah, Unreal Nightmare with a good start to their attacking side, and they're going to bring it back to 4-3.
Beautiful, I guess you can say, timing and just game sense to fake that plant, knowing that there was only a little bit of time here and that he was going to peak. So why not just fake it and hope that he peaks? Kind of a misplay there from Caden.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if he had any intel saying if the plant was going down or not, but I guess he decided to peek. Maybe he thought that the plant was going to get stuck, but that was an excellent play there by the Zofia to, keep them alive and bring them to within 1 round of InControlNation. But we are going to see the defensive side of InControlNation. They are going to be moving, or they're going to be staying on the same side, actually. Looks like same operators as well.
It's going to be very different to see, or excuse me, it's going to be very interesting to see how they want to switch up this defense. Maybe they want to, differ their hold, or maybe they want to try the same thing, because it was very close in the first time they played it.
Absolutely. So, interesting little tidbit here. You said you weren't the biggest fan of Bar Cocktail.
It's not that I'm not the biggest fan. It's just I don't think it's necessarily the best site.
No. So what I was saying is we have now seen it 5 out of the 8 rounds that have been played so far. So, meaning, the attacking side's winning this site a lot. So if you might be onto something there.
It's not necessarily that I don't. I guess you can say like the site as well. It's just a lot of people don't really tend, I guess you can say, it's very easy to be attacked, and it's very common for most people to pick this site because everyone knows how this end. C4 comes out from he spawn peeks with, or not necessarily spawn peeks, but gets someone on the hatch with the LOL dropped in chat. Kind of just to throw a little bit more butter into them. Again, going back to the site, I think it's still a great site, especially if you can hold it. It's on the top floor, and while there's no real hard breach to get into this site, it's very easy for an attack to take care of this, I guess you can say, take control of this site.
No, absolutely. I agree with you, but that was a huge pick there from Defiance. That's the IQ off the board, so bye-bye any anti-intel there from the IQ. And yeah, that's a good start to their round as they want to try and bounce back here after that loss on the first hold for this site. But you know, a minute and a half gone from this round, and they still got to deal with 4 more defenders, plus move into site, maybe get a plant down. It looks like the Wamai is going to get droned out, so they know exactly where he is behind that deployable shield. The ADS is going to get burned by flash grenades. Flash grenades continue to come in, but it looks like I think they got rid of that deployable shield after all those flashes came in. Yep, then they're going to be able to push in and take control of Piano Lounge and Shop. But you are going to still have the roaming Mozzie downstairs, so let's watch out for that as he is going to start flanking up red, but Caden is going to get right as I say that, he gets picked off by Caden yet again, so that's the Mozzie off the board. So now it's a 4v4, health slightly in favor of the defenders, as Caden did lose about half in his fight with the Mozzie.
Mozzie, one of those operators that you kind of do want to hope that they put something down in the middle of the game, or at least at the beginning.
Absolutely. So, yep, a little bit of a stalemate here in the action, but only 30 seconds remaining. Shots are going to go out from the Wamai and the Maestro, as looks like, yeah, Sledge is still going to be sitting up on the skylight, but the Maestro's going to pick him off, and that's Breezy gone and off the board, so a good killed there, but then shots going back and forth. Henry is going to take out Mello, but then Mello is actually going to pick off Eric, but then another kill from the Maestro. That's a double kill for him, and then Hazmat finishes it off, and InControlNation wins their second attempt at Bar Cocktail, and they take a 5-3 lead.
I really don't know what else to say besides that this game is going really, really back and forth here, I guess you can say, for both teams.
Mm-hmm.
It's they're really just trading blows back and forth, even though it's still relatively close. But one more round for InControlNation, and we see them put on match point, and we see them guarantee themselves 1 point. It's very possible, especially with the way everything has been going, that Unreal Nightmare can pull this back, and they could even win 3 straight to guarantee themselves 1 point. They could even win 4 straight to get themselves all points. I would not be surprised if they did that.
No, and what we're actually seeing here is the rounds are pretty much identical here as we go to Bar Cocktail for the first round of their defensive side, and the attacking side wins, and then they win it the second time around to move on to Kitchen. So if history repeats itself here, if it goes like the first half did, we could see Unreal Nightmare taking this round, and then maybe we'll see InControlNation win it the second time around, much like Unreal Nightmare did, and put themselves on map and match point and secure themselves that point. But we got a lot of siege to go before we get to that point. So it looks like Defiance is going to switch over to the Warden, which is an interesting pick here. But yeah, I don't think
Warden is I personally think is one of the more underrated operators, especially if you know players are going to bring sometimes like a Ying or even just a bunch of flash grenades. It's good to bring a Warden, and I think Defiance is kind of going for it for the memes. He's 15-3 right now. I think he's just trying to see if he can do it even on an operator like Warden.
But here's the question though: will we see a chonk play if it goes to overtime?
I don't.
I mean, if he's trying.
There is no OT, I believe. And
oh yeah, that's right. Draw. My bad.
It's okay. And however, it's okay. It's still very possible though that we see a Chonka play here coming in from Defiance, and he's fully flashed, and he's just not using his ability for some reason right there at the beginning. He might have turned it on, but we switched away, and they know he's there. They want to force him out of this position. They shoot the cam so they know that they can rush in. Defiance is going to have to try and rotate out. I believe he is still in that side right now, and Defiance is going to be fed a few bullets to the body as Defiance is tagged a little bit, and he's going to get put down by Pi.
Yeah, great shot there from the IQ, and he's going to pick up another one. That's a double kill, and the Kaid and Warden are both off the board now. So a good start here for Unreal Nightmare as they now have a 5v3 advantage at full control of Bakery, it looks like. Oh, he's trying to get the Kaid charge, it looks like, but they can't get it without exposing themselves to that prep window. But Ash charge will take care of that. And wall's going to get open. Oh, and shots are going to trade, and then Henry finishes off the Maestro. So now it's a 5v2, a huge round here for Unreal Nightmare, but Eric, and then Eric's going to finish off Mello, and now all that's left is Bone on the Jaeger, who's going to shoot some shots and take IQ down almost, but he's going to get the kill on Decade, and that's the Zofia down. Trade shots again, and two of the attackers are very, very low health, but so is he. He's going to try and spray onto the planter, but looks like it's going to go down. Or no, that wasn't the planter, that was the IQ, it looks like. But now, yep, he's in a 4v1 situation. Diffuser's down, and they're just all holding angles and wait for him to walk in. Looks like he's going to try and push onto that rotate. He comes into view of Breezy on the Twitch, and that's going to be Unreal Nightmare taking round 9.
I think the only thing that stood out from this game is that InControl was able to take one round away on their attack, one extra round, excuse me. So they find themselves at an advantage, even if it does end up going 1-1 every single round. Because if they come back and win this next one, they guarantee themselves a point. So it will be a question of if Unreal Nightmare can force themselves to break that spell.
Absolutely. So we are going to see them moving on here. We are not going to see Kitchen for the second time in a row after that loss. They're going to move on to mining. Go ahead and move on to mining and reading. Reading and fireplace. Excuse me. But yeah. So I was incorrect. We're not going to see a repeat of the first half, but that's okay because we're in a very close matchup here, and looks like InControlNation, they're just going to go ahead and try and wrap things up here and push, at least secure themselves a point. Which, I mean, if this goes as well as... Oh, wait, no, sorry. Unreal Nightmare, they lost this round, or lost this map, or... I can't talk today. Sorry, they lost this...
I can never talk if it makes you feel any better.
Oh, yeah. They lost this site when they tried to hold it, if I remember correctly. Yeah, there was a... Defiance, yeah, that was when Defiance just went off and walked into sight. But yeah, let's see if Unreal Nightmare could do any better from the opposite side onto this map, or onto this site.
Another thing we also want, at least I personally feel like highlighting, because Defiance is bringing out the Pulse. We haven't seen the Pulse play at all today, and it will be interesting to see if Pi is able to spot him out before he can net himself a kill, because that Pulse can be very, very dangerous, especially on somebody who's feeling as hot as he is, like Defiance.
Yep, and so we're going to see Caden on the Zofia. He's going to be pushing up through Skylight to try and get out, or get an easy pick on to one of those upstairs roamers. Can't get any angles, though, as we are going to see the castle hanging upstairs in that cocktail area, along with Bone hiding close by. So only two hiding upstairs, which is... not as heavy of an upstairs presence as you see a lot of times, but they do have that rotate down into side if need be. But it looks like they're full. Mello's going to start things off and pick off Caden, and then Henry is going to get down. That's the Ash down. And the Defiance is going to get one, but then immediately the IQ trades, and the Defiance with another one onto Henry. And so all of a sudden, it's a 4v2 in favor of InControl. The IQ, though, very dangerous. Oh, he's going to shoot some shots at the Pulse, but not hit them, it looks like. But then a shot here from Breezy is going to take out Hazmat, but then he's going to immediately be picked off by Mello, and now it's all down to the IQ, who's going to lose to Mello. Great shot there with the SMG-11, and InControlNation have secured themselves a point and push it to map point.
I believe what we just witnessed was the attempt at the rush, which was very, very poorly played, simply because they had all of the angles covered. They had everyone almost basically on site. Plus, you had the castle watching from upstairs if he needed to. So, a very poorly executed rush coming in from Unreal Nightmare. And like you said, InControlNation now have themselves a guaranteed 1 point.
Hazmat with a little chat there. His first game in SCL, but wow, a little toxic there from Eric, but it's okay because his team Hazmat's team still has the 6-4 advantage, and they're gonna head back upstairs to Bar Cocktail. Defiance back on that Mozzie, so we'll see if he gets another opening pick here, roaming around. But yeah, it's all down to this. Unreal Nightmare has to get a round win here if they're gonna, you know, try and push to get at least a point out of this. But yeah, away we go.
It's going to take them at least to force themselves into this round to push it to all 12, because this one is going to be kind of the same thing that we've been seeing. We see the attack take one of the rounds, and then we see the defense take the following on at least some of the main sites. I think we might see that happen here again, just because the defense hasn't been able to really shift what they do on defense for most of these sites. So it's going to be, I guess you can say, repetitive if it happens the same way. Another thing I also want to point out, because I just realized this, Defiance is 17-4 after a rehost.
Ooh.
So I don't know
yeah.
how many kills he might actually have, and I think he's almost near a 20 bomb, which would be very, very impressive.
Yeah, he'd be very close. The only notes I have from those first 2 round kills wise is that Mello had a 2K on the first round, and that was a flawless round for InControlNation. So I don't remember if Defiance got any of those picks or not, but yeah, he could be pushing a 20 bomb here for the entire match. But I want to see that number on the scoreboard right in front of you hit 20. So yeah, Defiance, get to it. Entertain me.
Defiance, though, he tried the C4 on to the hatch there, and he somehow managed to hit himself. I believe it just because he was still underneath the hatch when it blew. It might have flew down when they broke the hatch, but who knows really, because we're not game admins, so who knows. And we also see that Mello is on the Wamai here in Pixel, a very, very common hold here. What do you take of it?
He was there last time around when they won this site. ADSs are going to get burned much like last time. Yep, there goes, and he's going to fall back into bathroom, and it looks like they're going to get rid of that deployable shield. Hazmat's going to hold the door. Oh, a nade comes out, and Hazmat's going to lose his life. Wow, he was a big part of that round win last time as he held that area over there with the shotgun. But yeah, frag grenade is going to take care of things there. I believe that was Breezy. Yeah, that was Breezy on the sledge who picked that one up. And they have a 5v4 advantage, but the ever-dangerous Defiance is still alive and still walking around as the Mozzie, so we'll see if he can do anything here. But yeah, we're already only 45 seconds left in the round, and they need to start making a push on the side. Oh, and a good shot from Mello is going to take out Caden on the Zofia, so now it's even things up at 4-4 with only 30 seconds remaining. Flash grenade is going to go out, though, onto White Hallway, and Ash is going to peek, but Jaeger is going to pick off Henry, and so now a 4v3, making a 3v3 as Eric gets the refrag on the bone. Eric with a 2-piece there takes out Defiance, and now all that's left is Maestro and Wamai. Maestro hanging behind that bomb. It looks like Wamai is rushing downstairs. Plan is going to start to go down here over by trash bags, and then from Skylight, IQ is going to pick off the Maestro. Now all that's left is Mello on the Wamai, who is trying to make a flank here. He knows where one of them is, who retreated back into red stairs, but he's going to hold himself, but then no, he loses it to Breezy. I think that's a 2-piece for the sledge of Breezy, and they stay alive. They push it to 6-5. Much better push there from Unreal Nightmare.
It's getting to the point that we know that probably the defense is going to win this. However, you're still on the edge of your seat here, because it is very possible that Unreal just pulls it back and gets that point and steals 2 away from InControlNation. They're going to try this top site again, and they're going to be bringing out a few stops here. They're going to be bringing out the Valk and the Doc. However, I assume one of them will be 6-pick. However, I could always be wrong. I would love to see them both in play, because they are 2 extremely strong operators.
Do we see a peek here from the Doc?
It's very possible that we see a run out or a spawn peek from him.
Oh boy. Yeah. So yeah, InControlNation, they have chosen Bar Cocktail to be their winning site, but not if Unreal Nightmare has anything to say about that. They're going to try and steal a point out of this one after being down by 2 rounds, I think a couple of different times. But yeah, this is an interesting run here. You still have the Smoke, you still have the Wamai, and you still have the Jaeger, but Valkyrie and Doc are two new members of this strategy. Obviously, Defiance on the Valkyrie is going to place his cameras, hopefully try and get, I would guess, a C4 from below, if not a run out from downstairs while they're repelling. The Doc, that's going to be an interesting play. It looks like he's just hiding in heaven behind the desk there. So we'll see if he just tries to get a pick onto like Nubalk or what's going on with the Doc. It's going to be interesting to see how they play this one.
It is kind of a cheeky spot there because I remember seeing a team play there, and somebody would just put a few bullet holes there, and was just able to destroy 3 players back to back just from that singular angle from a game I was watching. And then I saw people try to pre-fire into it, knowing exactly where he was, and the bullets almost just didn't even hit. I believe they didn't even touch him. So it could be a very early pick, Defiance.
Where did he run out from? Oh, I think he ran out from a small bit. No, wow.
He ran in from dining room to find the early pick on to the sledge. A very, very, very good run out here to try and secure themselves at least one extra man advantage and possibly the final game-winning point. And he still has a C4 if he wants to lob it in to when they drop.
Yep, and he definitely still has his cameras up, so he'll know exactly where to put it if he needs to. Sorry to cut you off there. Continue.
Oh, you're absolutely fine.
But yeah, he's still downstairs and still very dangerous, and it looks like they're finally going to drop down Red Hatch and start to push their way through. Oh, the C4 gets placed, or pulled out, excuse me. But will it get thrown? Henry is going to pick off Mello, though, and that's the Wamai got off the board, so already it's a 4v4. Halfway through the round, the Valky is going to run downstairs. Looks like she threw her C4, but it didn't land anything. Smoke canister is going to go out, though. What are they pinging there?
I believe the C4 did land, however, it only did a little bit of damage onto Henry, as we see. It somehow didn't do any damage onto the Thermite, who was basically right next to it, which I'm very shocked by.
Yeah, very much so. But Hazmat on the dock, there he is. He's going to get a headshot on to the IQ, and now it's a 4v3. He's going to stem himself, as he did lose quite a bit of health. And he's going to win another one. That's Caden gone. And it looks like InControlNation, they're in control of this round and trying to finish this one off and walk away with 3 points. Doc's going to stem himself up again. And it's all down to a very low health Henry on the Ash and Eric on the Thermite. So we'll see what happens here. Doc's going to peek heaven. But no, he's going to lose his life to Eric. A good shot there as the Doc is now off the board. But now you still have 3 full health defenders waiting with only less than 30 seconds remaining in the round. Oh, a good pre-fire there from the smoke is going to take him out. And then he's going to get another one. And that's going to be it. InControlNation is going to take the game 7-5. A good hold there from the smoke. And also, I believe that was a 2-piece from the Doc as well. They split the kills on that one. I don't think... Yeah, Defiance didn't end up with the 20 on the board, did he?
Yeah, he actually did. He corrected us 20-5 with the rehost.
20-5 with the rehost. There it is.
So, just a fantastic performance coming in for Defiance to really just literally put his team on his shoulders, and they played really, really well. And as we said, they were in control for most of that round and most of the game as well, even though it was extremely close. And really, that last round, it looked like they had to pull something, if we're going to use all our puns here, unreal if they wanted to.
Ho-ho. Bad on me to not get this note for every round, but I want to know how many opening picks Defiance had there on that defensive side, specifically from runouts or C4s, because it seemed like almost every round he was doing something like that. You think they'd try and anticipate it, but yet he still gets a kill to open things off.
It definitely seemed like he was constantly getting his kills, and we actually have an interview here waiting for you guys with Defiant. Let's bring him in here right now. Hello, Defiance. How are you feeling?
Very good, very good.
All right, so we saw you guys just play a very, very close match. Were you guys really expecting it to be that close?
No, not at all. That was horrible performance on our part. We
You-
let it come way too close.
Are you allowed to say a horrible performance at 20-5?
I mean, I guess I did okay, but mainly it's just communication wise. I feel like we have a better roster than them completely, but we just made countless errors on that map. I don't know. I guess it wasn't our day.
Well, it ended up being your day regardless. As you walk away with the 3 points, you now move yourselves to 3-0, and I believe that ties Troll Team. No, Troll Team 6 actually. That's going to propel you into first place as Troll Team 6 is sitting at 2 wins, 1 draw. You're now 3-0. So, I guess how does it feel to be in first place now?
We're expecting it. Like, I don't think there's much competition anymore since Unreal Nightmare, the real good roster, disbanded. Alan Squared, now Unreal Nightmare, did put up a really good fight. We weren't expecting that, so I guess we'll have to VOD review them actually, and actually put the time and effort to see how they actually like to play, because they countered us pretty well.
Absolutely. So next week, it looks like you'll be going up against a team we're about to see here in just a little bit. Tactical Banditry, who is sitting at 2-0. So if they win tonight, they'll be tied with you for first place. Do you have any experience with the team, or what's the prep going into next week?
We haven't versed them at all yet, so it's completely new. But we have enough VODs to look over from them. But they've played a decent map pool, so I think we can decipher enough so that we know how their general play style is. So I think we're fine.
All right. Well, Defiance, do you have anything else to say to the fans here before we let you go on your way with a very, very good win here?
Thank you everyone who came out to support us. Sorry we didn't keep up our 7-1 scoreline, but a win is a win at the end of the day. And keep supporting In Control.
All right, thank you, Defiance, so much.
Thank you.
Now, very, very humble in terms of his personal performance, as he said, but he kind of loved to brag about his own team, which I do love to see from a team player. And speaking of teams coming up, like you said, we have a game coming up in just about an hour here.